Welcome back to the show. Last year, a storybook-like experience came into game stores and went out the other side of game
nobody
stores.
bought it.
Nobody really bought it.
Nope.
That's sad, and it makes Vic and I sad, and it's a sad story.
It's a beautiful game, though. Grab your blanket and get ready to play some Boy and His Blob.
Let's cry together.
Got a cool one for Reboot today.
Yeah, this is the reboot sound.
I love that sound. This is a Boy and His Blob.
Yeah, way forward. This is David Crane, who made the original Pitfall.
Is that really?
This is his project.
Yeah. Very cool.
And this is an old NES game. This is a cult classic.
Yes.
They decided to do it over.
And we reviewed this in the latter half of 2009.
We told you guys to go buy it.
We love this game.
$30.
Yeah. Is it
published by Majesco?
It's $30 now?
Probably not anymore. That's what it was when it first shipped.
Probably less than that now.
This is a puzzle platformer starring a little white thing which looks like sperm. It's like a little sperm friend.
It's like
with
a
eyes.
shmoo, right?
A shmoo alien creature, and you're a boy, and the white thing is your blob.
And you got to find up some jelly beans, and then the blob can turn into a whole bunch of useful animated objects, so you can become a little trampoline or a ladder or
my ex-wife was a trampoline.
Or a parachute or a little hole in the floor. It's like a, you know what it is? It's
my
like an
ex-wife was a hole in the floor.
It's like an old Warner Brothers cartoon.
Hole. And that's the appeal here, is a puzzle platformer technically, but it's really more of a puzzle game because the jumping mechanics are really on par with like Little Big Planet or something. They're kind of negligible.
A little bit floaty, yeah.
They're not great.
No.
But changing your blob into different things to solve puzzles is immensely gratifying.
It really is, but I don't even think that is the reason you fall in love with this game. I think it is precisely the art style, the hand-drawn animation, and the sort of lullaby music that pulls you in. I recently watched Where the Wild Things Are.
So did I.
And was so taken aback by the artistic style of that movie.
It was beautiful.
It was really a lovely movie. And this kind of has that charm, it has that sensibility, it has that kind of childlike innocence and fantasy about it, and it's hard not to love this game.
Have you hugged your blob today? There's actually a button on the controller that allows you to give
hug
your blob
I know.
a hug.
And you're constantly calling out for it to come to you, to help you out in situations.
It's 11 p.m. Do you know where your blob is?
It's really damn cute.
Does this need to be on a disc? And this is one of those games that I think would have really benefited
from download,
from being a downloadable title.
I agree. But you know what? For the Wii, this absolutely deserves to be in your library and treasured and brought out and shown to friends so you can see just how artistic and how rewarding video games can be.
We've told these guys multiple times to go buy A Boy and His Blob.
Yes.
And I'm not telling you again, this is the last time I'm telling you.
I got a new one, though.
Go buy it.
We got to say this to Way Forward. Release this game on other platforms.
Release the Kraken.
PlayStation and Xbox.
Make it a downloadable title on Xbox Live Arcade.
Make it for your platform.
Why do we have all the answers?
In HD.
We have all the answers.
Even if it's been on the Wii, it's okay. This game deserves to be played on multiple platforms. Steam, get it onto Steam.
It really doesn't even need to be on the Wii because it has nothing to do with the motion controls at all.
It's very simplistic design, but it's elegant, it's sumptuous art. Love the look of it, and I love the music and just the charm.
It's not a 10 out of 10, but it's one of those games that once you play it, you won't forget it.
What are you going to give this revisit to A Boy and His Blob?
You know, it has just aged so well, like you and I have. 9 out of 10 from me.
I'm giving it a 9. It's a little bit less love than I had last time. I still love it. Oh, nice.
So I remember the exact moment that Victor Lucas finished Mass Effect 2. He sent me a little message that said, I don't think I'm going to play a better game this year. And guess what? A couple months later.
It turned out I did.
But Mass Effect 2, an awesome game.
Yeah.
Huge. Role-playing, tons of dialogue, tons of side missions, great story, Martin Sheen, and now some DLC.
Well, and I got a question for you and the audience, too. Is DLC good enough that it can make you reevaluate the score that you gave on a game? Can it up its overall value? And if it does, shouldn't that be part of the initial experience because it's so good?
So you feel like this was a piece that maybe got chopped off of the original?
I don't know how this came to be. I imagine that BioWare's shrewd enough that they planned the DLC components completely separately, but we played Overlord on Mass Effect 2, which is
560 Microsoft points or something like that.
Holy crap, is this a lot of fun. I had so much fun. It was so clever and cool. You basically are battling a bunch of artificial intelligence. They call it VI in the fiction of Mass Effect. You're shooting robots and you get your team together and you go in and you find all kinds of new credits and plutonium, and you get to jump into a hovercraft vehicle for a little while and take out all kinds of installations and collect little data pods and stuff. But it's so addictive and such a great piece of the overall Mass Effect 2 experience. It almost exists as a demo for how awesome the game is. It's very manageable. It's very accessible.
Manageable.
It's like a tasty morsel. And
you know what
awesome.
I kept thinking is this reminded me of how incredibly refined Mass Effect 2 is as an experience, especially when compared to the original, which I went back and replayed again, which is so clunky now.
ME2 is so much more accessible. It plays so much better. The shooting is so well refined.
I felt like it might be a titch short.
Yeah, I mean, it's over quickly,
in like
but there's actually
2 hours,
quite a bit
even
of...
if you're farting around.
I know, but there's a
2
lot
hours.
to see in that 2 hours. Listen, man, it's an absolute must-buy, I think, if you're a Mass Effect 2 fan. To chart BioWare's progression as a developer, they started off being world-class RPG makers. Now they are just flat out some of the best game developers on the planet. They make some of the best video games you can buy.
It's not just that, though. I mean, it's almost as if they're creating their own genre.
For sure.
I mean, they have
interactive storytelling.
They are interactive movies, more so than any other game out there.
They're amazing, and this is another in a growing pile of games to give to Roger Ebert as a Christmas gift this year, to explain to him that, yes, games are art. This is an amazing...
This is one of the best pieces of DLC. I mean, we looked at DLC for Assassin's Creed 2 a few months ago. We were disappointed with, number one, how thin it was, and number two, how exhausted we still were.
Absolutely.
This feels like they let us sort of digest the original Mass Effect 2 experience,
well, there was
and now it's time for us to go back.
There was earlier DLC for ME2 that we didn't review.
The Kasumi one.
Yeah, and I've never played that. I've heard that it wasn't that great, but this is world class. This is some of the best DLC I've ever played. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 for me as well. Great job, BioWare.
Amazing. Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. Hope you're smiling because we are the show that saves you money. That's right, right?
Wait a second. This is the $5 segment. I used my $5 this week to buy Sloppy Joe mix.
Uh-oh. Scott and I are here to save you some cash and to show you some geese. Have you seen the geese?
We're out here in nature today.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get out of here soon, so let's make this fast.
Let's get back inside in the dark playing video games as quickly as possible.
The idea of the segment, we got $5. We're going to tell you how to spend that $5 or how we would spend it.
Yep, mine's a cheat, but I'm going to say it anyways. You got to spend $50 or so for a PlayStation Plus connection. The first game you're going to want to buy, and you're going to spend $5 on it, is Super Stardust HD, which is one of my favorites, and it's kind of neck and neck between Geometry Wars and the original Robotron dual stick action games out there. It's a totally cool arcade throwback. It's a little bit Asteroids. PS3, and they have a PlayStation portable version,
that sucks, though.
It's not as good. You need both of the dual analogs. It's just a trip. You travel around a planet, a full 3D planet, and you're blasting asteroids and enemy ships, and there's all kinds of bombs and power-ups.
Now, I've listened to you talk about this game on the show more than once now. I have not bought it. What makes it so special?
It's the Zen, trippy, perfect sort of...
I get that already from Geometry Wars.
Yeah, but this is the equivalent. This is as good as Geometry Wars Evolved 2. They are neck and neck. Both incredible games. This one's $5 if you got a PlayStation Plus account. There's 2 DLC packs as well, which add an extra $2.50 each on PlayStation Plus, but they give you more content, multiplayer, and better solo modes and stuff.
You listen to me, Victor Lucas. I don't want to hear about this game on the show anymore.
You counted that up. Let's see how you stack up.
You know what? On sale, on Steam, Overlord.
Oh, cool.
This is published by Codemasters, developed by
Not
Triumph.
The DLC for Mass Effect 2.
No, this is Overlord. Developed by Triumph Studios in the UK. And this game, if you haven't played it,
super fun.
My God. You know what makes this game so special?
Minions.
Yeah, the minions. The terrific sense of humor that the game has. I mean, you realize that there aren't that many funny games out there, genuinely funny games. The humor in this game, the cleverness, it's just executed with such confidence, and it's delivered so quickly that sometimes a lot of the humor will just go flying over your head.
It's kind of a Machiavellian fable in a way, right? And there's elements of fable in this game for sure, but this idea that
art style is very much favorable.
But you can control these little dudes to do all kinds of really mischievous.
So you play as
things.
the Overlord. You don't actually do. I mean, you have a simple attack.
Yeah, you're
but
pretty powerful.
You don't really use it though.
And you get some magic spells and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
but you don't really. Mostly, what you want to do is learn how to use your minions.
Yeah.
What's great though is when you send them into like one of the Hobbit huts.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they'll just be the windows will start blowing out, and smoke will come out of the roof. A few minutes later, all the minions will come running out, holding up treasure, and they'll give it to you, and they'll say, "For you, master. For you, master." Just funny stuff for entertaining. $4.99 on Steam right now. Go to Steam, download it.
So there you go, 2 wicked games for $10. You still got some money left over for some Funyuns and maybe a Slurpee.
All right, let's go eat.
He's like a virus now, infecting our networks and seizing control of any technology he finds.
What's the worst case scenario?
A technological apocalypse. Every machine, every weapon, every computer could be turned against us.